Something knocked on my window last night. I live on the 15th floor. I was watching Netflix on my laptop when I heard it. 3 deliberate knocks on the glass behind me. Slow, measured, like someone politely requesting entry. My blood went cold. I live on the 15th floor of a downtown apartment building. There's no fire escape outside my bedroom window, no balcony, no ledge wide enough for a person to stand on. Just a straight drop to the sidewalk below. I paused my show and listened. Nothing but city sounds, distant traffic, muffled voices from the street far below. I'd imagined it. Had to have. Knock. 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 Same rhythm. Same deliberate spacing. Definitely coming from my window. I sat frozen on my bed, afraid to turn around. My apartment was dark except for the laptop screen. The window behind me faced an alley, no streetlights, no illumination from neighboring buildings. Just black glass reflecting my room back at me. Hello? I called out, my voice barely a whisper. Silence. I forced myself to turn around. The window looked normal, just darkness beyond the glass. I approached slowly, cupping my hands against the glass to peer outside. Nothing. No person, no equipment, no explanation for how anyone could have reached my window. I grabbed my phone and called building security. "This is Marcus downstairs," came the familiar voice of the night guard. "Hi, it's Rebecca from 15B. I know this sounds crazy, but someone just knocked on my window." A pause. "Your window? Ma'am, you're on the 15th floor." "I know. But I heard it clearly. 3 knocks. I'll check the building perimeter, but I haven't seen any maintenance crews or window washers scheduled for tonight." "You sure it wasn't from the hallway?" "Positive. It came from outside." "Okay, I'll take a look. Probably just the building settling or maybe something from the roof." He hung up. I stood by my window for another 20 minutes, but heard nothing more. Eventually, I convinced myself it was some acoustic trick, sound traveling down from an upper floor, maybe, or wind moving something on the roof. The next night, I made sure to keep my bedroom curtains closed. At 11:47 p.m., the knocking came again. This time it was different. Not 3 polite knocks, but a continuous, rhythmic tapping. Like fingernails drumming against glass. Tap 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 tap. I sat up in bed, staring at the closed curtains. The tapping continued for nearly a minute before stopping abruptly. Against every instinct, I crept to the window and slowly pulled back the curtain. A face stared back at me. I screamed and stumbled backward, tangling in my sheets. When I looked again, the window was empty. But I'd seen it clearly, a pale face pressed against the glass, features indistinct but unmistakably human. The eyes had been dark, hollow. The mouth slightly open. I called 911. "I need to report someone outside my building." They're somehow accessing the 15th floor from outside." The dispatcher was patient but skeptical. Police arrived within 20 minutes, along with building security. They found no evidence of anyone on the building exterior. No ropes, no equipment, no signs of forced entry to the roof. "Could have been a reflection," one officer suggested. "These tall buildings, light plays tricks." But I knew what I'd seen. The third night, I was ready. I borrowed a camera from my friend Jake and set it up facing the window. If something appeared again, I'd have proof. At exactly 11:47 p.m., the tapping began. I grabbed the camera, pulled back the curtains, and started recording. The face was there again, clearer this time. A woman, middle-aged, with stringy dark hair and skin so pale it seemed to glow. She wasn't standing on anything, she simply floated outside my window, suspended in space 15 stories above the ground. Her mouth moved as if she was speaking, but I couldn't hear anything through the glass. She raised one hand and knocked again, 3 slow, deliberate raps. Through the camera lens, I watched her gesture toward the window latch, then point downward. She wanted me to open it. I shook my head frantically. Her expression changed. The mouth opened wider, revealing darkness inside. Her eyes, which had been sad before, became urgent. Desperate. She knocked harder, faster. The glass began to vibrate. I backed away, still recording, as cracks appeared in the window, thin spider webs spreading from where her knuckles struck the glass. "Stop," I shouted. "You can't come in." She pressed both palms against the window. More cracks appeared. The glass bulged inward slightly. Then she spoke, and somehow I heard her clearly despite the barrier between us. "Please. I just want to go home." Her voice was hollow, echoing, like it came from a great distance. "Where is home?" I asked. She pointed downward again. 15 floors. I fell. Understanding hit me like ice water. I ran to my laptop and searched the building's history online. It took 20 minutes to find it, a news article from 3 years ago. Woman dies in fall from downtown high-rise. Janet Holloway, 43, fell from her 15th floor apartment window yesterday evening. Police report no signs of foul play. Building residents say Ms. Holloway had been acting erratically in the days before her death, claiming someone was trying to break into her unit. I looked back at the window. Janet was still there, palms pressed against the glass, waiting. "Janet?" I called. "Is that your name?" She nodded. "You lived here before me?" Another nod. "You fell from this window?" She pressed her face closer to the glass. "Was pushed." The words chilled me. "Who pushed you?" "Maintenance man. Came to fix the window. I wouldn't let him in at first. Finally opened it." She gestured to the window latch. "He said I was crazy. Said no one would believe me about the break-ins. Pushed me out." I checked the article again. Janet had reported several break-ins before her death. Police found no evidence. Neighbors confirmed she'd seemed paranoid, claiming someone was entering her apartment and moving things around. "What happened to him?" The maintenance man? Still here. Still has keys. Still comes at night. Her voice grew urgent. He's in the building now. Coming for you. Heard you calling security, calling police. You're just like me. My blood ran cold. What do you mean? The knocking, it wasn't me the first 2 nights. It was him. Testing the window. I was trying to warn you. I heard a sound from my hallway, the soft beep of someone using a keycard on my front door. Janet's eyes widened. Don't let him in. Footsteps in my living room. Slow, deliberate. A man's voice called out, building maintenance. Got a report about a window problem. I'd never called about a window problem. I tried to warn the others too, Janet whispered. But they never listened. Never opened the window to hear me. The footsteps were approaching my bedroom. Open the window, Janet urged. Let me in. I can help. Ma'am? The voice was right outside my bedroom door now. I need to check your window. Safety issue. My hand hovered over the window latch. Janet nodded encouragingly. The door handle turned. I flipped the latch and opened the window. Cold air rushed in, and with it, the overwhelming sensation of falling, but upward, not down. Janet's cold hand grasped mine as she pulled herself through the window. The temperature in my room plummeted. Thank you, she breathed. The bedroom door opened. A large man in a maintenance uniform stood silhouetted in the doorway, holding something metallic. He saw the open window and swore. You're not supposed to, he began, then stopped. His eyes went wide. Janet stood beside me, no longer pale and hollow. She looked solid now, real, angry. Hello, Tom, she said. His face went white. You're dead. I made sure you were dead. Death doesn't always stick, Janet replied. Not when there's unfinished business. He turned to run, but the bedroom door slammed shut on its own. The lights flickered. When maintenance found Tom the next morning, he was hanging halfway out my living room window, 15 floors up. Heart attack, they said. Probably from fear. Janet was gone by then, but she left something behind, a sense of peace in the apartment that hadn't been there before. I still live here. Sometimes at night, I hear gentle tapping on my window. But now I know it's just Janet, checking in, making sure I'm safe. I always wave. And sometimes, just sometimes, I swear I can see her wave back from somewhere beyond the glass, finally at rest.